My name is Abraham Couch. I work for EPA. We'll someday own EPA, which is a commercial coatings company, formerly known as Environmental Painting Alternatives. We work here in Orlando, Florida, and do commercial coatings, residence flooring, theming, some flat line spraying, production work. Second generation, or part of G2. My father owned the business, and he's passing it along with SHV's help. We'll do this successfully.
Yeah. And what's your role in the company?
Currently, I'm executive director, which kind of oversees kind of the operations and everything for now, and kind of learning how to move into the next phase.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm Grace. I'm the youngest of the 7 kids. I'm a payroll clerk for the company, and eventually will be an owner as well.
Awesome. And so you're both involved in the company. You have all 7 siblings, so to speak, and 5 of you that work in the business. And so we're doing this process with you. We call it, Generation 2 or G2 ownership education. So you're kind of in line to become owners in the company, and you're starting this process with us to learn, what does that mean? And so we're just getting started, but what have you learned so far? We talked about a few things today. Maybe what you learned so far about what you need to learn and what's to come.
I think what I've learned is that I don't know a lot, which is fair. It's always good to start there, because then you know that you're kind of an open vessel for knowledge and growth.
Yeah.
So
I was going to say, shifting my mindset from being in a manager position to an ownership role, because they're different. And so that's something.
What's one difference? You covered that. What's one difference?
The liabilities and risks.
Right.
Those are some that can
Yeah, one of the ways we talked about it is when you're working in the business and you guys, it's kind of like the primary business that
right,
because your dad started this company 50 years ago.
1974.
Yeah, so it's kind of what you've known. And so you kind of know that the day-to-day, I'm sure you've seen your mom and dad as they made decisions, but you weren't involved in all those details. So you're more familiar, say, on the management side, less familiar on the ownership side. And as we talk about it, we say, that you might have a management hat, but you're developing ownership glasses to learn how to see the business from an ownership perspective. And that's really, where we can come in to help you create those glasses. And then you're going to build kind of decision making, almost like governance and some policies, things like that maybe the previous generation they didn't have to do.
Right.
But now, because the way decisions get made is going to be through the ownership group rather than through the ownership team or individual.
Right.
And then the long term plan for the family business is that it continues on into generation 3 and or 4, and beyond. So you're building out this process to really keep the business going long term. So
yeah. It has definitely been a journey. When you guys first came on, it was definitely a little bit of sticker shock. I mean, just a lot of information, and it just felt like a lot. But again, with the crisis that we've been going through with my dad, I mean, we wouldn't be where we're at now without you guys' help. And so it's been a blessing.
Good. Thank you. I can remember maybe about a year ago, you're like, when you guys first got involved, I thought you were kind of a pain in the beep, to me. It was more like an irritation, what are they doing? And then you kind of realize, this whole process has been for you guys to really help, develop that. And that, even that change of mindset from, this is not just, consultants that mom and dad decided to hire and are forcing us to do this, but it's actually something that we need as a resource. Otherwise, where would we be or how would we be navigating this?
Right. I mean, you guys have shared with us some of the statistics, and it doesn't look good for companies that don't have this kind of support. So we're again blessed and thankful that my dad had the foresight and that you guys were there at the time when we needed y'all. So
awesome. We're happy to be with you and continue on the journey.
Right. Yeah.
Because we're not done.
Don't start. Yeah. Well, if you guys leave now, I'm going to be in trouble. So,
and I sometimes, I've heard you say this about us, even in front of your management team, you're part of this. You may not be on payroll, employee, or whatever. You're part of the team that's helping us.
Yep.
And there'll be a time where that ends. It's not like you need us for 50 years, but over these next couple of years, as going through massive change and transition, when you have this as a resource, it doesn't guarantee everything's going to go 100% smooth and easy, and you don't have to worry about a thing, but it definitely reduces risk of things falling apart in the business, things falling apart in the family. And so your guys' investment into this process and your own, like, one of our values that we talk about, our norms, is be all in, like being all into the process. You're only going to gain. It's only going to be a benefit for you guys.